P, you got that look in your eye tonight, they better watch out.
Hey, should we pick up something for dinner?
Oh, we got food already. I brought them yesterday, I think, right? Yeah.
Thanks for joining us midweek here. Tonight, we bring you the NBA on 2K Sports. And in our matchup tonight, we'll see the Minnesota Timberwolves going up against the Portland Trail Blazers here at their home, Moda Center. Alongside Hall of Famer Grant Hill and Coach Stan Van Gundy, this is Brian Anderson. Allie LaForce joins us from the sidelines. And let's check out a breakdown looking at some stats for Julius Randle.
And he's had a rough past 5 games. He's had trouble finding his offensive rhythm and just hasn't been as effective as he'd like to be on that end. But this is something all players go through, and I'm sure he'll fight his way back.
So the opening lineup for the Timberwolves, Ed is at the 2 with McDaniels playing the 3. Julius Randle out there with Rudy Gobert, and it's DiVincenzo in at the 1. And for Portland, we've got Scoot Henderson clinging out there with Denny Avdia, and it's Coffey in at the 2. Well, it's fair to say we can expect a bruising battle between these two, Grant.
Yeah, these are two teams that dare you to bring the ball at them. They both feast on the defensive side, so don't expect any scoring records broken in this one.
Here we go. So the Timberwolves win the tip. Outside McDaniels. Back to DiVincenzo. Portland with a rebound. The mood around the team right now on cloud 9, looking for their 13th win in a row.
Well, you look at the discipline, the way these guys play under control, they never get out of balance when they find themselves in a hole. They just continue to fight, play their game, and enforce their own pace.
Here's Coffey. Sinks it from distance.
Well, he's got the green light for shots like that. Give him some room and let it rip.
Edwards looking it over. The 3 connects from downtown.
I love how competitive Edwards is. He relishes getting revenge like this.
And Stan, after they traded for Rudy Gobert, it took some time for the Wolves to gel.
It did, Brian. He's a unique player, and it's a process. But obviously a 14-win improvement last season. They have found their identity as a defensive juggernaut.
Now here's Randle, trying to make up for his poor performance in that loss to Portland. Pass to Edwards, 6 to shoot, lets it go from 14. That one won't fall. He's 1 for 3 on the day.
He'll probably hear about that shot selection when he gets back to the bench. Maybe not their best option.
Defensively, you have to stay connected to him on the perimeter.
Minnesota's gone 1 of 2 from three-point land so far. Randle, a screen on Henderson.
Trailblazers foul. First personal foul. First team foul.
And the Timberwolves with possession here. 6-point game.
You can tell he's forcing things a bit at the moment. He's been trying to get it going, but this hasn't been his quarter.
Here's Coffey. He's got 9. Launches a 3. Another 3 for Portland.
When you let a team knock down that many threes, you know you're likely to be on the wrong side of a run.
The Timberwolves have gone 1 of 5 to start things off. Randall, the pass to Gobert. And so he draws the foul, headed to the line to shoot a pair. Defensive Player of the Year 4 times over, Stan. Rudy Gobert tied for the record.
Yeah, Brian, alongside Dikembe Mutombo and Ben Wallace, and Gobert's capable of getting another one too, assuming his countryman Victor Wembanyama doesn't start taking the reins.
No good on that one. Well, Stan, he was a 5-time All-Star. Chauncey Billups, just 1 year as an assistant before becoming a head coach.
Yeah, but Brian, Chauncey Billups was a guy that even when he was a player and then as a broadcaster, always thought like a head coach.
And he sinks the second. Well, coach, Minnesota turning back the clock last year. Most of their lineups had multiple bigs.
Yeah, and we saw how effective it was, especially on defense. Minnesota led the league in defensive rating by a wide margin, and that length was a key factor.
What a way to begin this game, dominating at both ends of the floor.
Obviously, guys, brilliant coaching, a perfect game plan.
Now here's Edwards. His last outing, he had 24 points. McDaniels passes to Randall. Outside Edwards. Another miss by Minnesota.
And he just hasn't been able to get it going this period.
Well, the offense has to look for ways to get him easier shots, better selections. You have to be set up for success.
The green light they gave him early should probably turn red. He needs to get others involved.
Ooh, took him no time at all to get that one. Coffey's got 15 points.
They're getting torched on the perimeter. 4 of the last 5 buckets have been threes.
Pass to Edwards. Wide open look. Book it. And it's Randall with the assist. He's got 5.
Effective use of the mid-range there by Edwards. He's a true 3-level scorer.
Here's Coffey. And again, it's the Trailblazers from deep.
Well, he has owned this quarter. A major reason they're up right now.
Randall, the pass to McDaniels. And here's Edwards outside. Edwards can't get that one to fall.
Yeah, those shots from him are certainly not helping their case.
Here's Coffey. And he buries that one. Back rim and in. Coffey's got 20.
The big story thus far, how well they've shot the rock.
Outside McDaniels. Back to Randall. Gobert with a screen on Avdia for 3. Randall, he drops it from range.
Yeah, a shot that Randall has added to his repertoire. Shooting the 3 with confidence now.
Pass to Henderson. Here's Coffey. That 3's off the mark.
And he almost made them regret defending him so loosely.
8-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Now Gobert. Back to DiVincenzo. Over Henderson. And DiVincenzo with a basket on the assist from Gobert.
Yeah, nice read by Gobert. When he's providing an assist, that is a big bonus.
And the defense is really allowing them too much room on the perimeter.
And here's Edwards outside. Avdia pulls it in. Fires the 3. That one doesn't drop. And so it's the Portland Trailblazers up 14 as we wrap up the quarter. They're communicating well and stringing together stops. We'll be back in a moment. Great to have you with us. Second quarter of basketball. This game has not exactly been neck and neck, but plenty of time left in this one. And a look now at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Trailblazers.
Well, the coaching staff's game plan is very clear. Move the ball on the perimeter and shoot the shots with no hesitation.
And also, the coaching staff has to love the hustle so far. Just playing with great energy, getting out and converting in transition.
On the court for the Timberwolves, second quarter underway. Anthony Edwards out there with Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Then there's Naz Reid, then it's Miller, and it's Clark in it for three. Stan, LeBron James is widely regarded as one of the most intelligent players in the league. Who else stands out to you as far as basketball IQ?
Oh, Brian, that's a tough question. There's so many of them. Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic. There's just so many intelligent guys in this league. Fans that think it's all about athleticism don't understand how intelligent the best players are.
All right, let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Well, the Timberwolves, no doubt, a team to be reckoned with. Coach Chris Finch said, we come in every single night and compete. No matter what the circumstances are, we expect to win. We root for each other, so I feel like we have all the makings of a tough team.
And they have reason to be confident, Allie. Thank you. And the basket by Coffee.
Man, they're having a hard time defending the triple. That's 3 in a row.
And it's Edwards with the ball for the Minnesota Timberwolves. When this one's in the books, they'll be off to Sacramento, taking on the Kings. That game will conclude the 3-game road trip they're currently on.
And they're +5 on the boards after that rebound.
Here's Coffee. They lead by 20. That's the most we've seen. Connects again from distance. Buries his 10th triple of the game.
Unbelievable, B.A. Unbelievable.
Miller outside. On the wing, Alexander Walker. Back to Miller. Looking to end the run. Walker pulls down the board. Portland leading by 23. Stan, with the trade of Damian Lillard in 2023, Portland was headed in a new direction.
Yeah, Brian, they really decided to go young. Added a top 3 pick in Scoot Henderson. They've been piling up young talent in the Rose City, and now it's all about development. Those players have got to get better. They've got to get good habits. They've just got to continue to grow.
And Minnesota calls time here. Checked in for Walker. And the Timberwolves will go for a different look here. Gobert's checked in for Reid. Randall comes in for Miller. McDaniels is checked in for Clark. And it's DiVincenzo in for Alexander Walker. Now here's McDaniels. No points so far. Here's Edwards. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in.
Yeah, Edwards rarely passes on a chance to get his team points. He loves making an offensive impact. In terms of offense, they've been the more efficient team by far.
Well, I think it's because They're calling sets that really match up well with their personnel.
You know, I have to admire a guy like Anthony Simons. Early in his career, he was seen as undersized, but with his skill and pure athleticism, he balances the scales against bigger players, and he's become a ferocious scorer. And you have to think that they're leading this game because of how they've controlled the boards tonight.
Here's Coffee. And again, it's the Trailblazers from deep.
Keep getting him the ball. He's been a huge part of this offense.
Offensively, it's been a struggle for him.
Yeah, they need to string together some shots to have any kind of chance.
Nice shot by DiVincenzo.
A developing part of McDaniel's game that could elevate him to the next level.
Here's Coffee. And again, it's Portland with a three.
Well, they wouldn't be in the position they're in without his contribution. He has tormented this defense tonight.
We've got 1:08 left in the first half. McDaniels finds Gobert. Just 5 to shoot. The three, DiVincenzo buries it from 3. DiVincenzo's got 7 points in the game.
Exchanging buckets from downtown. That's been a staple of tonight's game.
Yeah, sometimes you get in a shootout like this, but you just hope that you can get a stop first.
Edwards can't hit. The Trailblazers have gotten 7 of 10 attempts to drop in the second quarter. Here's Ayton, and it's Portland scoring again.
That's been typical of their performance today. They're sharing the ball and creating good shots.
Outside, DiVincenzo. Here's Edwards. Oh, he goes up high for the two-handed slam.
Yeah, Edwards has some big bounce in his step.
Oh, doing damage above the rim. That was our AT&T 5G slam cam. 24 seconds left in the second period. To the inside and out of bounds. Minnesota will have it.
Well, it shows you how crucial.
So it's the Portland Trailblazers with a commanding lead to end the quarter. 27 points, looking good. Their efficiency has been off the charts. They're running their sets well with patience and purpose. We're coming right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hey folks, thanks for joining us. It would be an understatement to say it's been a great half for the Portland Trailblazers. Before we get into that, I want to know, back when you guys played, what was your favorite city to play in?
Well, Shaq played for every team in the league, so I'd like to ask him first, Ernest.
Well, everybody wanted me, Kenny, don't be jealous. I say LA is way up there. You know, because you're always home. Especially during the 3P days. It was very, very hot there.
Yeah, you kind of set yourself up for that one, Jeff.
I know.
And now, how about that first half? Talk about a dominating display for the Trailblazers.
The offense has been well engineered, kind of like diesel engine, but much, much more advanced. More like a jet.
Yeah, that diesel engine going to show you real power when that camera turns off.
Glad you could join us. Brian Anderson and crew are ready to take it away for the start of the third quarter.
And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. Here's Henderson. No made baskets yet. And Grant, the success of teams like the Timberwolves showing that size still matters.
Yeah, in this pace and space era, that may have come into question just a bit, but size and skill combined has always been your best bet at winning.
We've got Klingon, Henderson out there with Denny Avdia, and it's Kamare in at the 3 slot. That's the group starting the second half for Chauncey Billups. Oh, rejected by McDaniels. Here's Edwards into the lane. And it's Portland with a rebound. They host the Hawks after this one, and that game will conclude a 4-game homestand for them. And let's send it over to Allie LaForce.
Ryan, Anthony Edwards, his disposition just brightens a locker room. Coach Chris Finch said he's an absolute joy to coach. Always in a great mood with a great smile. It doesn't matter if he plays well or he doesn't. Every day he has the same approach and the same attitude.
And he wants to be great, Allie. There's no doubt about that. Now here's Edwards. 9 points in the game. Drains the triple.
Well, this is why Edwards is a nightmare for defenses. He can drive right through you or pull you apart from range like this.
Yeah, and the defense has really got to tighten up on him. I mean, he's just too dangerous from the three-point line.
They swipe it. Puts up a deep 3. Coffee can't get it to go. For Minnesota, they've gone just 1 of 3 in the second half. And Edwards slams it in.
Well, just look at that power. Edwards is unbelievable.
Oh, connects again.
Putting on a scoring clinic.
Hey, it's become an old habit. He's tied for the 4th most 50-point games in a single season.
Think about this. This is his 9th 50-piece, tying the great Wilt Chamberlain. Kobe's 10 is next up at 3. He just rises up and throws it down hard with one hand.
That is such a go-to move for him. He holds nothing back on those. Well, Grant, when the money's on the line, the mid-range is still a big part of the elite player's game.
You're right, B.A. And really, it comes down to touch, obviously, and size certainly helps. And then the savvy and balance to create that space.
And the basket by Edwards.
Well, I love when guys like Edwards work inside. Don't settle for jumpers. Get a solid look close to the rim.
Coffee. Offline with a 3. Minnesota's gone 1 of 2 shooting from the perimeter since halftime. McDaniels from long range. Portland with a rebound. Klingon's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Here's Coffee. Oh, another one falls.
And this game has his name written all over it.
He has been phenomenal. An offensive onslaught. That's going to be over and back. Not watching the line on that one. Alexander Walker, he's checked in for Minnesota. Guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Trailblazers?
Well, their passing has been just exceptional, and it's opened up the floor for them on numerous occasions.
And we also got to talk about the number of points they've scored in transition, just jumping all over the opposition in this regard.
On the court for Minnesota. Ant is at the 2 with McDaniels playing the 3. Rudy Gobert is out there with Naz Reid. And it's DiVincenzo in at the 1 spot. Outside McDaniels. Minnesota again missing.
Well, you can tell he thinks he should have had that one. Even harder on him when he's got a good...
Good! That's another bucket!
And with this tremendous night, he is tied for 2nd most 60-point games in a season.
What a year he's having. Game after game, being able to score so effortlessly. Truly remarkable.
And both teams running long-range plays that are working.
Well, you know it's become a three-point shooting league. Teams shooting a steady diet from outside.
And let's face it, this one was never really in question. They came out with purpose and just overwhelmed the opposition. A great win for the Trailblazers.
And you don't usually see this kind of blowout, but tonight they delivered the punishment.
I mean, what's so impressive is they never wavered in their approach. They just kept at it and showed they were without a doubt the better team.
This will mark their 13th win of the year. Not a bad number.
And that'll put a little extra meaning on their next game. No team wants to go 0 for 4 against a
Good! Another from 3.
Another 3 for him. I'm not sure I've seen a better three-point shooting night.
Well, he's just pouring it on, and he's tied for the 5th most triples ever in a single game. DiVincenzo, the pass to Gobert. Down low. And a foul called on the way up. So he'll take 2 from the free throw line.
Third personal foul.
Yeah, good to see Gobert attacking the defense like this, forcing them to.
So no problem for Portland as they get the win. They didn't have too many problems tonight.
They didn't. Just a tremendous...